I think what is really important about the Mirzayan program is its uniqueness. There are lots of programs for young PhDs, but this is one of the few programs that involves them in policy, but not through an agency perspective. It throws open the policy doors and just says, this is how policy gets done, and this is important, not only understanding policy for science, but science for policy.
I think it's very important for people with rigorous scientific and engineering training to enter into the science and technology policy area. They can help to advocate the science and technology policy to policymakers.
It allowed me to come to DC to truly get an understanding of how science and technology policy is both debated, designed, and actually implemented. I'd say my time as a Mirzayan Fellow was quite profound and quite foundational for my career trajectory to date.
It's one of those transformative experiences, particularly for early career researchers who have tons of ideas, who are creative, who are eager to expose them at that early stage to what science policy is, to the priorities of the nation. Those things stay forever.
There are just very few opportunities like this. It's sort of training wheels for that next job. And for me, it was very impactful to do this 3-month program and then move on to subsequent policy experiences.
I did not know science careers can look like what I have right now. Nobody else would have told me if I hadn't taken the Mirzayan Fellowship. So I think this is really about opening the eyes to what a science career can look like. It doesn't always have to be in a lab.
Just this week, I was in a public meeting that ultrasound was being discussed as a potential therapy that will hit the market in the next 10 years. And just having that realization that the technologies and the science that we're working on is eventually going to reach the communities was really mind-opening for me as a scientist.
I went into grad school knowing that I'd come out and not stay in the lab, and so I knew that I would need some practical experience. It really gave me some credibility, I think, in terms of understanding that role of scientists in federal policy, and those are critical elements of almost any job that I've had since that moment.
My background was in space physics and engineering. I had a keen interest in the Arab region, in Africa, and also other parts, and I could not connect the dots between those two. And what the Mirzayan Fellowship is, it allowed me to basically connect these two and use my expertise to make a difference globally.
After I finished the fellowship program, I just returned to my university, finished my PhD program. I follow a very traditional academic path. I was hired by a university for the next 15 years. Then in 2021, I saw this job opening and I just found it perfectly matched my background and my experience. So here I come, returning back to Washington, D.C.
Some of the biggest new things we've started have been aided by the Mirzayans because they are that surge capacity we have. So I think having this network of alumni out there is one of the terrific ways to get the word out of the importance of the academies, the kind of work we're doing, and they hear directly from people who were involved.
56% of our alumni are now serving in senior and leadership positions. And you'll find Mirzayan alumni in nearly all 50 states across the US and more than 13 countries around the world.
Many of our fellows and alumni end up in government positions, philanthropy, private sector. Many go back to academia. I think this is really key to the role the Mirzayan Fellowship plays in shaping the conversation around science policy.
Mirzayan Fellowship is cultivating the next generation of fellows who are not only scientifically knowledgeable, but also politically and socially aware. And for me, I feel like bringing these fellows and giving them the opportunity to not learn about stakeholder engagement and learning about academies, programs, and how the academies play such a central role in the whole scientific enterprise. Learning about science policy, of course, that's the basic of the Mirzayan Fellowship program.
Programs like the Mirzayan program are especially important. And the reason is, if you look at the average age of our members, they're 71 years old. If we didn't have the youth, the enthusiasm, the new ideas of these young people, I think we would cease to be very effective.
I was able to attend the National Academy of Sciences annual meeting and speak to some members, and they impressed upon me the importance of the connections I've had with fellows, not even with them, because they emphasized that as we got older, we would amass in power, influence, and leadership, and we'd be able to leverage each other to advance the public good. And I really look forward to that in the coming decades.